So we are back here on the Art for Lauderdale podcast, episode 15, with our online gallery partners, Keith and Ferdinand of TOROSIETE, which you're about to find out a little bit more about. If you didn't know about Art for Lauderdale, we created the first art fair on the water, taking place inside luxury waterfront homes on the Los Angeles Intercoastal Waterways, made only accessible via boat. Creates a unique opportunity to view and interact with art, seeing art in the setting where it ultimately lives. And with the addition of TOROSIETE's online gallery, it's going to provide a unique, unintimidating, very leisurely way for you to purchase art directly off of your cell phone, which I'll tell you about in a minute. I'm Evan Snow. I'm the co-founder of Art Fort Lauderdale, and we look forward to having you join us this week, January 23rd through the 26th. Tickets and more information can be found at www.artfortlauderdale.com. But without much further ado, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves at a high level?
I'm Keith Tomlin. I am part of TOROSIETE. We are a fine art virtual online museum where we create 3D virtual interactive exhibitions of our artists' works that can be accessed by a computer, laptop, desktop, mobile device. So at any time from anywhere, people can leisurely browse the art that we have in our museum. When we work with artists, the works do not go away. We don't exhibit an artist and then move on to another artist. The exhibitions that we create stay on our site forever. That's why we're also calling it a museum. But we also sell the art as well and fine art prints of many of our artists' works.
Interesting. And how did you guys get in the arts originally?
How did we get into the arts originally? Well, I've always been in the arts. I've always, I started out actually working in a few art galleries, and then I went from art galleries to music, to from the fashion world, and then I decided to leave New York about 7, 8 years ago. We moved to Virginia, and then I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and so I said, well, let's just see. And I came up with the name, and then I just ended up doing the arts again. It's like, here we are again. I'm doing this whole circle thing. And then now I started with the arts, now I'm also working on music again. So, and hopefully I would like to expand later on, maybe do something with the company one day with other, adventures and stuff like that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Keith?
My background is in computers, computer science, and so when we met and decided we were going to work on a company together, one of the things we tried to do when we decided it was art related was figure out a way how we could create something that we could be anywhere, and the people viewing the art could be anywhere. So one of the things that we try to do is create exhibitions and videos to tell the stories behind the pieces that are in our museum, to tell the story behind the artists, give people an experience that's interactive as much as possible. When you're trying to sell art online, it can be a very static process. You need to grab people's attention. You need to engage the person into exploring the art that you have and tell the story behind each piece. So we've been trying really hard to create a site that provides more than just a passive view of the art that we have.
And it really is a unique experience online, twofold. One, the way that you have the virtual walkthrough in the virtual gallery setting, it's just very cool technology-wise. But for the sake of the fair, I think it's really cool because you go to an art fair in the 10th Convention Center, and there's no disrespect to these folks, but there's generally like the pushy salesperson, gallerist, or whatever. Hey, let me get your email so I can, send you stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So with the online component and also the QR component, which I'll let you talk about, somebody could purchase a piece of artwork without having to speak to anybody. We'll get a notification, they'll get a notification, an invoice, they'll get the information on how to pick up the artwork or have it shipped. So some people maybe get turned off by that traditional art fair, buying artwork experience, and this kind of mitigates that. And you've added a great component with the QR code. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what they can see at Art for Lauderdale with that component?
Yeah, so one of the things we believe in as a company is upfront pricing and no pressure sales. So we want people to know when they look at a piece exactly how much it costs. We want them to know all the information about the artist and the background about that. And so what we've created for Art Fort Lauderdale allows the viewer to browse through the homes as they would normally, but at a leisurely pace, scan with their phone the tag that's attached to each artwork, and that will instantly give them the information about the artist, the piece, a story behind the piece to help them learn more about it. And then from that point, they can choose to purchase it directly from their phone, go through a checkout process, or ask for help. They can contact us in our Fort Lauderdale to get more information. If they want to have set up a time to talk about the artist or talk with the artist, if they're available, we can try to coordinate those things. So it's like an instant way of them passively experiencing the fair in terms of not being bombarded with people, but also gives them a tool to access all the information they need right away.
And it's also really cool. One of our best collectors and VIPs, Mr. CEO Serge, unfortunately can't attend this year, but he wants to see all the work that's online, so he can go on the site and purchase artwork and make acquisitions directly without even having to be there, which I know he's excited for. So in addition, and also the chat feature, which is really cool too. So yeah, if somebody wants to find out more about the artwork or wants to set up a time to talk, we have the ability to do that. In addition to finding out more about the artist, links to podcasts, if we've done a podcast with the artist.
That's right.
So you'll have a whole profile where you can find out more about the artist. The site is very easy to be searched and searchable. It's organized, categorized by sculptures, by visual arts, by paintings, by the homes, so on and so forth. And in addition to the artists that we're exhibiting in our Fort Lauderdale, you guys do represent some artists and actually have your own exhibit within the fair. You want to talk a little bit about some of your artists that you'll be exhibiting?
Well, we are exhibiting several artists. We're exhibiting
14, in fact.
Actually 14.
Yeah.
We have artists that are actually flying in from Mexico. We have artists from, we have Cuban artists, we have Colombian artists, we have Puerto Rican artists who are also flying in tomorrow. We have Italian artists. We have, we have a lot of great talent in our world, in our museum.
So this has been a great opportunity for us to, because we're an online museum gallery, this gives us, working with Art Fort Lauderdale, a physical presence and a place where we can actually have our works displayed in physical form.
Correct.
So, and so that's a unique and exciting thing for us to be able to do. Because usually we do our best to represent the artworks virtually, because that's where most people are able to see art from all over the world, no matter where you are. But it doesn't ever replace a physical presence. So having an opportunity to show these works from many different places in one location,
Beautiful works,
is a really exciting.
And the other really cool thing, and kind of what differentiates your platform versus Artsy or Saatchi or Art Across America or one of those, is it's very curated.
Yes.
Very maybe limited isn't the best way to put it, but versus on Artsy, one artist is going to get lost in the sea of thousands of artists, and from an emerging to a Basquiat. Whereas you guys, very concise, very curated, a limited amount of artists. Artists get their shine to get their own online virtual museum exhibit opportunity. You do a great deal of promotion and supporting the artists with interviews and promotions and some great things. You're also going to be hosting some talks as part of our Art Discourse series at our Fort Lauderdale. Why don't you tell us about the talks that we're...
So we have 2 talks planned, part of the Art Discourse series. The first one is on Friday at 5 o'clock at the Gallery 1 hotel that's on Sunrise Boulevard. I'm going to be doing a talk about our museum and how we use technology to help artists present a complete package to the world. I'm going to talk about how we are different from a traditional Artsy or some of these other online sites. But more importantly, I want to talk about some things that are going to help artists on their own, whether they work with us or not, on how to present their information in a way that's better for the internet. Then after that talk, we have one of our featured artists, Beatrix Ost, is going to be doing a talk about her life experience as having a career of decades in the art world, whether it's fashion, writing, screenplays, and art. She has one of her pieces in the fair this year in part of our exhibition, and she has several books. She's going to talk about her books. We have some of her books with us. You can get them signed. and meet her. And we're going to be at the Art Indie One House, the Royal Drive, Plaza Drive home, the whole week. So we'll be there. Beatrix will be there. We have many of our artists that are able to fly in for this as well. So
Excited.
yeah, we're really excited about being part of this year's fair.
And if you don't mind me sharing, which I don't think you will, this partnership came as a result of you guys attending the fair last year.
That's right.
Obviously, taking an interest in the experience, and then, forming a relationship with myself and my partner, Mr. Andrew Martineau, offering to lend your resources with the online museum gallery to be the online catalog partner for Art for Lauderdale, which is a valuable piece. And now, you created a beautiful exhibit within one of the homes, in a beautiful room, which is the man cave in this enormous $8 million, previously $12 million house. So it's a really, really great thing, and we really appreciate your partnership and obviously your interest in the fair. I guess you guys are well traveled and you've seen some things. What do you like about Art for Lauderdale? What are your thoughts? So what makes it different versus your time in New York City or Puerto Rico or other places that you've been?
What made it for me was how friendly everyone was, and how it was just it just had a good energy, I mean, it wasn't chaotic. It was, you had a chance to walk around. It wasn't, just talk to everyone. And that's what did it for me. It was just the energy. It had such a good vibe. And that's why when we were leaving, I said to Keith, I was like, I would love to help these guys. I'd volunteer if I could. I said, because I've never been to an art fair where there was so much beautiful art. The homes are absolutely gorgeous, but everyone was so nice. And it was a fantastic time. It was a great experience.
Amen.
Yeah.
A really great time. And that's why I said, I really want to get involved in this.
Awesome. We appreciate
Plus,
that.
I love it down here because it's like being in Puerto Rico but not being in
Right,
Puerto Rico.
and you guys are based in Virginia, so being in Florida in January.
Yeah, that helps.
And to their point, one of the things that's very unique versus traditional art fair, in the traditional art fair, is generally speaking, the gallery representative or the gallery director exhibiting in the fair, and the artists generally are not there at a lot of the fairs. Whereas at Art for Lauderdale, it's primarily independent artist driven for artists not represented by a gallery. So majority of the artists are there. They're not there the entire time because they go on the tour themselves. But it gives you an opportunity to meet the artists, interact with the artists, find out more about their process, find out more about their backstory, and establish a relationship with them there, which has been a phenomenal, tremendous win for multiple artists, from gaining new, obviously, collectors and followers to commissions. We've had artists tell us that they've gotten to decorate lobbies of condo buildings from people they've met at the fair. People, and then you guys have met artists,
That's right.
which have now been a part of the fair.
Right, and I was going to say that when we work with artists, we're not exclusive with them. So we actually have artists that are in the fair as independent artists as well. And one of the ways that we work is that we try to support our artists no matter where they are. So one of the things that we would do if an artist were here and we weren't here is we would still be here, we would still advertise that they're here, because what we try to do for all of our artists is create a buzz around everything that they do, whether or not we directly benefit from it or not. So that was something that we found really exciting about this year, last year, just seeing all the independent artists, all the vibe that they all bring to this fair, and it's really a community event.
It really is.
It is. And once again, it's a really great addition because the tickets are limited. We can only fit so many people on the boats and in the homes, and we're pretty much capping at about 1,600 this year. So maybe you're out of town, or maybe you weren't able to get a ticket, it got sold out, but you did want to see the works, purchase the works. You're able to do so. The link will be directly on our website on the homepage. We'll be sharing it through our social medias as well. Where can they find you guys on social medias?
We are primarily, we want people to go to our site since we are an online gallery, so visit torosiete.museum, TOROSIETE. And we also are on Instagram, we're on Facebook, just as TOROSIETE. We're also have a YouTube channel. We also try to create a lot of video content, so that's something we're really focusing on soon. We put ourselves in the virtual exhibition and we talk about the works. Because again, because we're online, we can't take someone by the hand and bring them in and talk to them, so we try to create content that people can have that similar experience.
And those could be fun.
But that's why it's also great that we're here in person.
Right, because they do get to meet you.
Right.
And find out more about the platform. And it is unique. Things are obviously continually shifting more and more online in the 21st century. Especially now art, and artsy just got the $50 million valuation or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So it's a really good time. We encourage you to join us in Fort Lauderdale, January 23rd through the 26th. Tickets and more information can be found at www.artfortlauderdale.com. This is also part of the second annual Fort Lauderdale Art and Design Week, which we created to be an extension of the art fair to activate and aggregate all of the cultural institutions in Fort Lauderdale that do want to participate in the arts. So there's a satellite fair with the American Institute of Architects local chapter, creating the second annual Fort Lauderdale Architecture Fair. There's artist studio tours with resident artists in Mass District, Fat Village, Zero Empty Spaces. There's the Art Walk. There's a series of art discourse artist talks, which are free, thanks to our partners from the Gallery One Hotel on Sunrise Boulevard in the Intercoastal. There's after parties at W Hotel on Saturday night and the Wilder on Thursday night. Those are free with RSVP. The RSVP guarantees you entry, and at the W you get some bites from Steven Starr and cocktail, which is nice. We also have our VIP opening reception Wednesday, January 22nd at the Bonnet House. It's our only annual fundraiser. It's generally considered one of the parties of the year in Fort Lauderdale. Some absolutely memorable performances will be taking place this year. Fushu Daiko, who you might have seen maybe at Murakami once in a blue moon. We brought them in for a pretty penny to do a performance, and my dear friends from Vase, singer-producer duo that also plays live instruments on top of their sets. It's going to be an absolutely memorable night, memorable experience. You get a chance to party and meet with the artists, with the partners, with the sponsors, some city commissioners, mayor, stuff like that will be there as well. That's our VIP opening reception, only annual fundraiser at the Bonnet House, Wednesday, January 22nd. Tickets and more information for all of that can be found on our website at www.artftlauderdale.com. We hope to see you at the docks at the Pier 66 Marina this weekend. I'm Evan Snow at Evan Snow 13 at Art Fort Lauderdale at Shoes 954 at Zero Empty Spaces at all that good stuff. Don't hesitate to reach out, and we'll see you in Fort Lauderdale. Cheers.
See you there.